teammates, welcome back to Teaching with Tania. Today is an asynchronous day, which means the students are at home as we are at school, basically getting things done. And I don't have that much to do. We'll catch up on grading, all that stuff. Today's gonna be a chill, relaxed day. I love times in the classroom where I could just come and work with no distractions, even though I love my students dearly. It's just nice to work without them. And also plan for the rest of the quarter and hopefully up until we start state testing, which is exciting. So my principal decided to go ahead and allow some teachers to do new leaders, which is really exciting. I was so glad to be picked a part of those teachers, and I learned so much. To be honest, with Black History Month, it was just a crazy week, and that basically rejuvenated me yesterday because today is March 1st. Happy March 1st. Just hearing things I could be doing, practical applications, because of course you go to teacher developments, leader developments, and it's like, I can't use any of this information, but I want to share the information that I was able to use, and I'm just so excited. Okay, so basically what is changing the game for me as a teacher is grade level aligned work. This is just tier 1, talking about tier 1. Although I give grade level aligned work, I feel like to close the educational gap, sometimes it shows students have been given a steady diet of work that's below them or at their grade level. But at what point do we give students opportunity to get grade level aligned work? I always knew that legally we're supposed to be teaching 3rd grade work, but I know some other teachers have scaled it back because they can't do it, most of them. And at the end of the day, we don't want to take the opportunity away for the friends that can do it. And also, they're all going to be held accountable for the learning that they were supposed to have had throughout the school year. So making sure that even though whatever limits or biases we have on them, I definitely try not to put limits on kids. And what I have learned is that having them do more student leadership or giving them those opportunities to grow and excel will limit some behavior problems as well. There is a bunch of other practical ways that she talked about, but I just want you to think on that. I have to go to a meeting now at 9 o'clock with my lead, so I'm about to head there and I'll finish talking to you guys afterwards. Here we go. It is now, I keep thinking I have my Apple Watch on, but it's now 11:30 and we are eating lunch. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I have not been able to get that much work done because my other teacher, my partner teacher from last year, came and talked to me, and it's like, we really just don't get a chance to talk. You guys know that. We probably don't know. She moved up to middle school math now. So it was good for us, to go ahead and catch up. And then just other teachers talking about our problems of practice and just bounce ideas off each other. I really am so thankful for the community here and the great group of colleagues that I have. We're a really good group of teachers. And so I get along with each and every one of them, and they help fuel me on my bad days. And we just give each other encouragement all the time. I have not had so done in a minute. Alrighty, so it is now 12:23. I am almost done with my grades, so I can put that away. But also, when there's no students here, I always get the urge to rearrange my room. And I did a reset at the beginning of, no, I didn't do a reset this year. And I think it's time for a reset, to be honest, because I did one last year around January time. But basically, I'm gonna rearrange the room, clean my desk off, and then I'll be out of here. But before I do that, I want to tell you guys how it is giving students leadership opportunities or building tiny teacher, mini teachers, whatever you like to call in your classroom. I have seen significant gains from it because not only am I teaching, but students are now able to explain it in their terms and at their level. When I give them a task, it's like this triangle. Imagine the student up here, the task up here, and the content up here. We know the content that we're teaching, but is that task on grade level for them? And of course, you have to scaffold and differentiate, but making sure they are getting exposed to grade level text. I feel like this goes back to what I was saying earlier. How we turn education around is by giving students grade level instruction that we know that they can do or be exposed to do, but then also in small group be able to remediate. There's a time and place. We don't have to separate them, instead add them together. And we also talked about the difference between equity versus equality and how not everybody's going to need the same thing, but instead for every child, for every student, need according to need. Every student may need something different, and how do I allow space for that in my classroom? Although I do small group, I could be doing a better job at that. And then the next thing that I will be changing for my reset is it's like this 4-part action plan, which was like mind blowing to me because I have set the boundary of not taking work home, but instead the delayed feedback has been out of control. So I've been trying to give more immediate feedback. And it's like this cycle. You diagnose first is number one. Number two, you prioritize what their needs are. Once you teach grade level instruction, you then need to prioritize, okay, this student got it, this student didn't, and then pull those into a small group. You don't need to reteach everything. And also let the students know what standard we're working on, main idea, key details, so that they can explicitly name, did I meet the standard, did I not meet the standard, and having student checklists throughout the day so that they know and they're able to hold themselves accountable. The person who was giving it also gave the story of how basically in her school when she was an assistant principal, when she was a principal, she was able to have like flip the script on everybody. When they walked into their parent-teacher conferences, the students were saying, I am able to do this is what I'm not able to do, therefore my grade is reflected here. And parents were so caught off guard because not only do we know where your children is, but they know where their abilities are, and they're able to speak to it during parent-teacher conferences. And that just made my heart so happy because there's a lot of adults in this situation just giving education to kids, but let's bring kids along with us to partner along on this journey because they're the ones that need to be educated, you know? So yeah, sorry, going back to the diagnose, basically how you score after you teach something, there's a 4-part action plan after that. We go back to diagnose, we diagnose what is being taught, okay, we teach it to them, and then see how do we do. Then you prioritize who had a misunderstanding or misconcepts, and then boom, be able to not a week from now or 2 weeks from now because they don't care about the assignment anymore, but how can I be a better teacher by giving that immediate feedback? And then the second one is to plan. A plan, how are you going to address those misunderstandings and fill in those educational gaps and close where they weren't understanding, close that gap of confusion. The fourth thing is to go ahead and monitor and adjust. Maybe moving forward, make sure that you already think about how they might not understand the lesson, especially with writing. We talked about what a topic sentence was. What is a topic sentence? Okay, what is not a topic sentence, and why are these the topic sentences? It may seem so simple, but when you're a teacher and you're going through the day-to-day, like these great reminders or having a process and systems in place, just like the school has systems, I feel like each individual teacher has to get systems, and that has been my most growing pain this year is not having systems in place for when things happen. Like, yes, we have a classroom routine, but also like attendance or people coming in late. How are they getting acclimated to class as soon as they come in? Not 5 minutes wandering around the classroom, wondering what's going on because already have that system in place. And even when parents don't address you correctly or attendance issues, it's like all these other things that we're dealing with that has to be systematized. It was just so good to be encouraged and realize that giving standard aligned work consistently and that encouragement, what did she say? Daily and consistency. So maybe we may be doing things every week, but are they contributing to student success? Or how often do you pull the small groups, or how often are you giving grade level aligned instruction? It has to be every day, every week. And when you give feedback or checks for understanding, whether it's the exit ticket or what, when are you giving that feedback, it has to be every time you give that assignment, you need to be giving feedback. Not walking around saying, oh, Johnny, you're doing a good job, or oh, Sarah, that's great, you're on task. But no, oops, I see this is wrong. How can we fix it right then and there? Is going to change the game for me for the rest of the year. So as a teacher, like we're constantly growing, shifting, pivoting to meet the needs of our students. And now that I know the curriculum, know what they need to be doing, we're now focusing on getting them prepared for, like I said, state assessment, which is exciting because they've already been exposed to grade level content this whole time. So when they get to the test, they're not confused or at the formatting or whatever because they have been given rigorous aligned instruction the whole time. I feel like I've been saying that the whole time. That's what I learned basically. This whole thing is that it has to be rigorous aligned instruction. And to be honest, actually now I'm going to talk to y'all as a teacher. That will mitigate or like fizzle out behaviors because now that, especially giving student leadership, my behavior problem students, Usually we want them to say, hey, we're not doing this, stop, 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 when they're showing or giving us a behavior that we don't like, but we're not telling them what they could do instead, right? So, hey, when you're talking to a parent, hey, little Johnny's doing this, you just always get these these negative phone calls, but how about switching that to a positive? Instead of acting out, guess what? You can go sit in the cozy corner for 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes, right? I'll give you that. Or 3 minutes, because some students like to take advantage of it. I'm gonna allow you to calm down, but then boom, we need to get back to work. So instead of telling them what to stop doing, let's tell them what they can do. When they hit that frustration point, what should they do? And just having a school culture of like no idle time. There's always something that you could be working on or something that you could be doing. Don't sit here and tell me you're done. Okay, that's cool. Stop telling me you're done. Instead, I need you to put on your thinking cap and turn in your stuff in block 1 or 2, whatever your assignment is, and then boom, what are we working on? And it's like, to be honest, I'm constantly reviewing routines and procedures, but I think most importantly, I got out of this whole meeting is that there has to be a standard in education. And I feel like that standard has been dropped multiple times, but no matter what system you're in or what students you're dealing with, background, socioeconomic status, race, gender, identity, whatever it is, when they come into your classroom, they know, hey, this is what we're doing. You can follow line or not follow line, but this is what we're doing. And then you can call me all the names in the book. I don't answer to names that are not my name. I don't answer to names that are not my name. So you can cuss me out, you can throw a fit, flip the tables all day long, but the standard is still there. And eventually they're gonna get tired. And eventually they're gonna break because you're like, wow, this teacher keeps showing up for me. This teacher, no matter what I do, she's gonna still keep showing up to teach me. Like, that's mind-blowing for kids. That consistency and frequency, saying every day, no matter what they did yesterday. I know it can be hard. No matter what they did yesterday, wow, she's not giving up on me. At some point, you have to buy in. At some point, you have to be like, okay, well, no matter what I do, she's still gonna come to teach. She's still gonna love me and teach me with a great attitude. And it's like, in this classroom, especially like next year when I set that standard, this is what we're doing, and not deviate when I feel like it or deviate when a student behavior is knocking me off my game, because I'm the one that can make the choice. I'm the adult in the classroom. Like I tell my students, I'm the star in this classroom, you know? And so at some point you have to sit down, buckle in, and you're gonna learn something. Whether you like it or not, you know, having that standard of this is what we do, this is what we're doing, most students will go ahead and rise to that occasion. So I have to be better at setting that tone, because also what is not checked for, we won't do. Even as like adults, okay, if you know that you're getting checked for A and B, but you're really getting checked for C, then what are you gonna do? Really ignore A and B and really focus on C. So if my students see that this is work that's actually being graded, and if I don't do it, I'm not gonna go to resource or I have silent lunch or things like that because I'm held accountable for this work, eventually they're gonna buy in. And the first 5, 10 instructional days, it may be really tough because you're setting a new standard in this class, but hopefully once you get to day 15, 16, 17, and so on and so forth, they are bought in. And I don't know, this just makes me so happy because having the courage, giving students like a real assessment. I live in the world of reality, so this is where we are, but also this is how we're gonna help you get to where you need to be. And most of the time, students are asking me, Ms. Brown, what's my goal for the week? Oh, what I gotta do this week? Okay, boom, they're ready to get one as soon as they come into the class. Some others may feel like pulling teeth, to be honest. They may be reluctant learners, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna teach you. That doesn't mean I'm gonna ignore you. That doesn't mean that I'm just not gonna teach you because you don't wanna learn, you know? You're still held accountable for this content, and so out of love and being a teacher, not teaching to where you are at now, but your potential, who you're going to be in the future, that's what I have to lean into no matter what, if I see it now or later on. I feel like that was a lot, but that 4-part action plan: diagnose, prioritize, plan, monitor / suggest, that's going to get me through the rest of the school year. And so I'm excited. I did go ahead and plan my lesson. Sorry I didn't show you guys that earlier after I ate my lunch, but yeah, so right now I'm about to go ahead and change my seats, fix my seating chart, and then head out of here in an hour so that I can actually take a break and head into the weekend. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. If you've been watching so far, comment down below what is something that you've learned new as a teacher, because this is our craft and we're constantly striving to get better and grow and learn new things. I'm only a second year, third grade teacher, and there's so much that I have to learn and things that I'm collecting in my tool belt. So what is something new that you have put in your tool belt that you've learned as a veteran teacher, a new teacher, whatever it is? I would love to hear about that below. Alrighty guys, so I went ahead and rearranged my desk. To be honest, we're at the point of the year where we're back on islands. This is something I usually do at the beginning of the year as I get to know students, but I think we would just learn best on islands. So we're back in islands, and they still have rows where they can work together, but I also needed a space in my brain where I can teach like whole group lessons but in small groups. So I basically just rearranged my whole room. As you can see now, I made this makeshift desk because I didn't like how they were so close together. I needed like space for my own stuff, and so that is how it looks right now. And so now I'm able to breathe, I feel like, in a smaller group and basically just teach whole group the whole time. I mean, small group the whole time, but still great level of instruction, just in a smaller setting. And then students have more room for binders and things like that because we are collecting a lot of data at this point in the year, making sure they're meeting their standards and they are mastering them. Instead of just meeting them, we want them to master them. And then I forgot that we did take a test yesterday. It was absolutely crazy. We had our Black History Month assembly as well. We had a university come in. Their cheerleaders came and somebody read a poem. It was just really nice to see them outside their environment. So that was nice as well. I'm actually really tired. Like, I was running on adrenaline all day, and then I didn't come in. I was gonna come in today, but I had so much I needed to get done, which now I'm thankful for, because boom, as soon as Monday hits, we're ready to go ahead and get started implementing what I learned yesterday. Immediate feedback, which I knew was better for students, but sometimes you just slack off, you know? So as a teacher, when we did this on Thursday, no school Friday, they're getting it back on Monday, and they're great. So yeah, I'll catch up with you guys when I leave. We officially made it home after a long day at work. It actually wasn't too bad today because I didn't have students, so that was nice, but I stayed there a lot longer than I wanted to, but I got a lot of things done. And once I'm in a work mode, I just go. So I'm already planned. I called parents, I updated them on grades, so of course I couldn't show you guys that, but I'm all up to date and I'm planned, and it just feels so good and so refreshing to have an asynchronous like work day. I very much appreciate it. So now I'm about to cook dinner, and I may cook 2 meals because for those of you guys who do not know, I do use HelloFresh because it's healthy and I don't have to think about what I'm eating because it's already planned for me. I absolutely love that, because did you know that us as teachers, we make more decisions than a surgeon all day? And I'm like, no wonder I come home when I'm so tired. But I also want to work out today before the sun sets, and I think daylight savings time is like right around the corner because the days are getting so much longer. And I just feel rejuvenated and feel like I could do some stuff after work because it's not dark outside. So thank God for that. So let's get cooking. Sweet corn chowder, sweet potato lettuce wraps. Sound good. I think I'm gonna do that. Alrighty teammates, so it's now the next day after you guys have seen those clips, and I forgot to show you guys what I made, which was some penne pasta. It was really good with cheese, mushroom, like a veggie pasta. Chef's kiss for sure, that I forgot to show you guys what I was eating and cooking. Right now, I just went ahead and about to submit my last assignment. I've been working really hard on that. Over the weekends is basically where I could be a full-time grad student, because during the weekdays, like, I'm exhausted. So I try to get like an hour or two done of grad school work, but then on the weekends is like where I fine tune my papers, my PowerPoints, and go ahead and get it done. So I'm about to do that now. But I'm also a little frustrated because this is where we do stuff in education that doesn't quite make sense. Like, it's our time over the weekend and time off, and we're being asked to do stuff that we've already done on 2 separate documents. For example, our student data, learning plans, whatever. Like, if it's already done on one document, why can't people, admin, whoever is asking for this documentation, to look at that information and just go ahead and streamline it that way? Because this is where teachers get burnt out and get frustrated when we're repeating the same information over and over again just because you don't have whatever credentials to get into this system that we've already done it on twice now. You're asking us to do it 3 times. What a joy. Needless to say, I'm going to get that done as well. But I just went ahead and finished once I submit this, I'm going to go ahead and finish my classes. And this is like the best feeling. Of 8 weeks of hard work, I was taking 2 classes. I'm not going to recommend you take 2 classes if you can't handle it. I'm not going to discourage you to do that either, because at the end of the day, you know yourself best. But just know that if you are full-time teaching and being a full-time grad student, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of discipline. And to be honest, like, I even shocked myself on time management and time blocking. I showed you guys that in the previous video. I'll link that up above, because that has literally saved me from going crazy, along with the self-care tips and time for myself. And then ever since I'm done with the class, I go ahead and put this in my binder. This, like, I'll pick that up. But this is like I have my acceptance letter on the front. This is my portfolio and binder, so that when it's time to create my administration or like school leader portfolio, I'm able to just pull what I've done in each class and show that on my portfolio instead of creating a bunch of new stuff. And this is like the best part, because I know that I'm getting things done and I'm going to graduate soon. But I like to print out my syllabi or syllabus, whatever they like to call it, on here, because I'm just a pencil and paper girly. Unless I have to do stuff online, then I know that I'm almost done. Look how many classes I've taken, guys. Like, what? So grateful that I have this opportunity, and realized that I started May 8th of last year. So crazy. But yeah, so basically this is how I'm gonna end my night, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day, weekend, or night whenever you're watching this video. And just know that I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to work.